Well, for many years that I've been running the retreats for about 15 years, and every year I set a specific theme for the retreat. But in reality, I think from the very beginning I've been working with one theme, and that is the theme of women and power. And it's the workshops and the retreats, if nothing else, they've been like a laboratory to explore women in power. And a very, very, very long time ago, I heard a phrase, and it was, "A woman of power walks the path of the heart." And when I heard that, it had such deep resonance for me. And it really probably has been a guiding principle, certainly in the work that I've done with women. And so the retreats are a place for people to come and play around with this idea of power, the type of power we've been taught in the culture that we live in, which is very often a power that's kind of disconnected. It's a power that's not very inclusive. And it's a power that's like outside of oneself, and often one that is either thrust upon us or we thrust it upon someone else. And what we've been learning in the workshops is that from the sacred feminine, that power is very much about an inner experience of oneself. It's an experience of being deeply connected to oneself and connected to a source of inspiration, of nourishment, of wisdom, of understanding, of guidance that we can open up to when we take the time to be still and to listen, and to deeply listen to the power of the heart, and when we become students of love. And, obviously there's a lot of confusion about love, and obviously love is something very, very important for us to understand, because if we wanted probably to boil the whole spiritual pursuit down into one word, we'd say it is the understanding and the living of love. And one of the main confusions might be that love is something that we give. And I think what we're really learning is that love is a state of being. It's a state of consciousness. And yes, it may translate into an action, and oftentimes it does, and it needs to. But more than anything else, it's holding a state of compassion and passion, of patience and tenderness, of kindness, of care, of thoughtfulness, of generosity. All those things that, yes, we know that's love, but spiritual principles of goodness, things that really help the world to grow in a healthy way. And so that's what I name as power. And of course, it's sometimes very difficult for us to live in our hearts in the world and to live our power through love. It's the deepest, biggest challenge, and it's a challenge for women, and it's a challenge for men. But this is the kind of, people want their empowerment. They want to have power. But we've seen what can happen when it is that kind of power that's disconnected, when it's power from an ego point of view. And it doesn't work. And so now we're all in the laboratory of learning, how do I love? How do I love and respect and treat myself with all that kindness and generosity and compassion? And how do I extend that to the other and to the world?